Yep.
Is that your summer cap? Hey, everybody,
Yep.
welcome back to Morning Talk with Mike and Paul. Hey, guys, I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend, the 250th birthday of our young country. And I told Paul I was at Freedom Weekend, okay, over at Bobbleheads. And people said, Mike, you need to go live and bring Paul up so we can rub it in his face.
You can't rub it in someone's face when he's all for it.
Oh, but today, guys, we're going to be discussing one of the biggest and most controversial things going on in Europe, the migration policy. Okay, guys, things are changing in Europe right now. And I'm not just saying individual countries. This is an EU decision. Okay, the EU is finally opened their eyes and they have said open borders do not work. We don't even know who we have in our countries anymore. Okay, but there's a lot of countries out there: Germany, Greece, Italy, France, Poland
are the example I wish we were.
The Netherlands, Norway, Finland have hit lists already in progress to ship people out of their countries. And where are they sending them, Paul? These countries are making deals with African countries, going to pay them like we do, okay, in El Salvador. They're going to be building these mega, they don't call them prisons, they call them detention centers for these countries. All right. The left is pissed. The right is taking over. More and more countries are turning conservative because they are sick and tired of their people suffering. Germany is under conservative rule right now. The Bundeskanzler, all his people are conservative now. They were sick and tired of the CDU, SPD, and now they are making the big move to clean out their countries. They are tired of this, okay?
I don't think we should be so much worried about the SPD. It's the STDs.
Yeah. So the European Union is moving towards a tougher system for removing people who have been ordered to leave Europe. All right. The new rules are designed to speed up deportations, require greater cooperation from migrants facing removal, and allow the EU countries to establish what officials call return hubs in countries outside the European Union. So they want them out of their entire footprint. Okay, they're going to send them there. They're going to process them, work with the countries they came from, and ship their asses back.
No.
Okay. Now, remember, England is not part of the EU. All right. What was that called? The Brixton?
The British referendum.
Yes, law that they removed themselves from the EU because the EU is crazy. All right. So they have their own.
Do you know who was in charge? Do you know who led the charge on that?
Who's that?
Nigel Farage.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah. They said, man, what's good for Europe is not good for Great Britain, because Great Britain already has their crazies. Okay. They don't need more crazy. All right. But I looked at the thing, and right now, Germany is looking to cut a deal with, I can't remember, they just said African countries. They wouldn't pinpoint where they were going to do this at, for one prison to hold 800,000 migrants that they want to ship out quick, fast, and in a hurry. 800,000. Now you got to remember something. you go, oh, in America, we got 12 million or we got 21 million or whatever like that. Remember, Germany's their population is only 84 million people. Okay. They're only 84 million. Look at it this way. In America, we have over 331 million people in our country. The whole EU, all the countries in the EU, all 26 countries, okay, there's only 451 million people. We have 331, all right? So, but if you take all their illegal alien population, guys, it is in the millions upon millions because of the open borders. People just passing through. And they don't even know who they got in their country, and they're sick of it. Wow, somebody finally woke up, right? That's what we're going to talk about today.
We have over 400,000 so far.
Yeah.
That's been documented. That's not including the ones that haven't been documented. Yeah. And out of that 400,000, the grooming gangs, these bastards that keep raping the bloody all young kids and that, are over 20,000 people.
Wow.
And we're not allowed to talk about it.
You're not allowed to talk about it?
No. Even our journalists are told when they pick up a story, drop it.
Really?
Yeah. From the top. Keir Starmer had three young boys jailed for causing criminal damage to his property. What they didn't tell you was those 3 young boys are what is known over here as rent boys. Do you know what a rent boy is?
No.
It's somebody you pay to give him a good seeing to. To keep it polite, it's a young male prostitute.
Ah.
And Keir Starmer was paying them, only he wasn't paying them, which is why they did what they did to his property.
Ah.
So if the Prime Minister could tell people to knock it off, don't talk about it, what else was he hiding?
But is that a law?
It is when he controls the fucking police.
Ah. I didn't know the Prime Minister controlled the police. I thought the mayors did.
Oh, no.
In our country, the mayor. So are police over there national police, every cop?
Every county has their own police force. But the police commissioners of that county have to go through the direct parliament.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
That's why when the Prime Minister says do this, the chief of police in London gets in touch with every other chief of police and they have to do it. Hence what they call two-tier Kia. Every Islamic gets a pat on the back. The British and Christians get told to shut up and bear it.
Wow. Yeah, I would be pissed off. That would piss me off. But hey, before we get too deep into this, let's say hello to the people in the chat. Let me scroll up. I know I was over at Husky Edna this morning, and I had about 17 to 20 people come in before and just say hello and hit the thumbs up. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate that, guys, before we get started. And if your mind changes, you can hit the thumbs down later on. Okay. Hey, by the way, I did pin the link so you can come up on panel. So we enjoy to hear your side. And if you're from Europe, we would love to hear from you. All right. Because the information I got is from news agency, from the Build, from all kinds of newspapers and news agencies in Europe, to include their national websites and stuff like that is where I got my information. So if you think it's different in your country, and you're in Europe somewhere, please, please, please come up and talk to us. So I seen Tinkerbell, Wendy over at Hardneck Farms. Welcome in, darling. There's Thunderstick Homestead. Bowen, how are you doing? Jennifer Ocean, hello, my darling. Good to see you. I'm wearing my summer cap.
I wouldn't mind, this was literally, I completely forgot about this and my other cap. When I put them in the cupboard that's sitting literally 4 feet from me.
Every Brit has a hat like that, don't they?
No.
Really?
No.
I see them a lot. Hey, James over at Shade Tree Cook. James, how are you?
Black caps.
65 degrees Fahrenheit right now over there where Jennifer is. Glad that we've gone. Guys, let me tell you something. We're at Freedom Weekend, and it was hot over in Arkansas, guys. But the funny thing is, somewhere around noon on the 4th of July, the weather changed. The cool air from the storms in Oklahoma pushed in, and it was a comfortable, probably 75 degrees when we did the fireworks and all that stuff in the afternoon. And it was really nice compared to the day before. It was a freaking scorcher. But we had a great time. We're going to talk about bobblehead and Jen and Wiley and Freedom Weekend on Wednesday, so I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, don't forget Sal's Camper.
And Sal's Camping Life, yeah, he was there.
He did a lot of grafting for them.
He worked his ass off. But we're going to talk about that on Wednesday, guys.
David says you better not call him darling, so I dare you.
David.
Kentucky Bluegrass Living.
Hey, darling. There's Tamara over at Heartland Headquarters. Hello, Tamara. Good morning. Let me see. Let's see, anybody else? I think I saw the Bud Files in here. Hey, there's Rebecca Touched by Yarn.
Yes, the Bud Files were in here before. I don't know if they're still here.
There he is right there, Kentucky Bluegrass. David, hey, how you doing, darling? For your cousins over here. See, we all come from somewhere. All right.
Yeah. If I used fireworks, I could not shoot them off on this estate.
I like the push on Facebook about there's a lot of people not liking being called African Americans. There is a huge push from the Black community. A lot of people, I just want to be known as an American. Because they say when you separate us or anybody by saying Asian American, African American, Mexican American, you're dividing.
Yeah. And it's about time you lot realize that, because they are all Americans.
And I couldn't agree with them more. I mean, come on. I can say, hey, I'm Irish, English, German, and Norwegian. And Congolese, by the way, 23.
You're behind 57.
Says, hey, you're 0.7% Congolese.
Yep.
I'm more African than what's her name? What is that girl? Pocahontas. Said she was
Warren?
American. I'm more Congolese than she was indigenous American.
Elizabeth Warren,
yeah. But I'm going to tell you something. These people are stupid. And so I agree with them.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman had the best comeback for that on live TV.
Sure did. Stop.
What do you want to be? Stop. I'm an American.
Just Pardon? They do the same thing in statistics. The Black community, they're voting this way, and the white community's voting this way. The Hispanic, Latino are voting this way. They have to separate everybody Just say, hey, here's what we did. Boom. Okay. Now, our young kids, I just watched the thing on, what's his name? Cash. I can't remember his channel name, but he did a thing because New York's going through blackouts. City Hall in New York City is telling everybody, you need to shut off or reduce your air conditioning consumption. And they just turned the freaking lights off. People are living with no electricity in the boroughs in New York, while reporters go to City Hall and to the mayor's office, which are two totally different places. And it's 71 degrees in the building, while everybody else, and they got lights, and nobody else has got lights. All right. No electricity. I mean, store owners in the boroughs, they were showing it. One guy opened up his ice cream thing, and it was water. It was milk. Everything melting. He's losing his freaking inventory because of all this shit. Guys, socialism. There you go.
I'd just like to say something to David.
Yeah.
David says, can't we all just get along? David, if you all got along, the Democrats would not be able to blindside everybody while they fill their back pockets.
Yeah.
Because everything would then have to be in the open.
Yep.
And Fear Not Farm says, I like how it's our fault that they're rolling blackouts and we just using too much air conditioning. Meanwhile, nobody is putting the brakes on data centers.
Yeah. Yep. Good point there, James. The Supreme Court just struck a blow to Trump, and they have allowed birthright citizenship. There's the Supreme Court of the United States. SCOTUS says that under the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship, you can't touch them. You cannot touch them. Doesn't mean you can't touch their parents.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can't touch the kids that were born in the United States. Okay. So, and I knew that wasn't going to pass. I knew they were going to uphold that under the 14th Amendment. It's in there in black and white. I get it. It's like the Bible. People read the Constitution and they extrapolate what they want and leave alone what they don't want. Okay.
Yeah. The only problem with that, and we've got the same thing over here, but the only problem with that is that gives your Democrats an argument base. Oh, they're splitting up families again.
No, we're not.
No, you can deport the parents.
Hang on. Here, our Custom Border Patrol agents, our ICE agents and everything, if you have a child that was born in the United States, that child is protected under the 14th Amendment. We call
the child is.
We call them anchor babies, okay?
Yeah.
But if your parents get caught, they're not separating you. The government's not separating you. You have the right to take your child with you.
Yes, but you don't have the right to stay.
But you don't have the right to stay.
And that's where the Democrats will say you're splitting them up.
You're splitting us up. No, you can take your child with you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But the Democrats don't say that.
We'll pay for the ticket. It's okay. Take them with you. Okay. Or if you have family here, leave them here. Okay. Because other than that, they're going to be a ward of the state. And they're going to be living in group homes and all kinds of crap. And living a horrible life that way, growing up. But it's your choice.
David said, hey, Paul, what's whiter, my shirt or his goatee?
All right. Well, I wanted to wear this. I haven't worn it in a while. I get in the habit is I just take shirts off the top and I wear them. Then Terry washes them, puts them right back up there, and I don't get down to the other shirt. So I'm pulling from the bottom now. Plus, it's 4th of July. You know, I know it's over, but I wanted to wear my shirt. But yeah, my beard's a little bit whiter than my shirt. Hey, Fear Not Farms, how are you doing? Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something. The rolling blackout, people are freaking pissed. And then they started interviewing young people. Oh, it's mandatory, and he knows what he's doing, and Mondamini should run for president. Freaking, our kids are so freaking brainwashed. Oh my guys, come on, guys, educate your kids. What was this? It was storm related, but the Walmart nearest them, I guess, lost power for about 6 hours and lost $200,000 worth of inventory. It was not sure how it could legally have $200,000 worth of inventory and
not have enough.
Not have enough. Well, I would think that you would, if you're a store like Walmart or something like that, that you would have a backup generator for your business, so you wouldn't incur that, you know, because most places like that have a backup generator that kicks on, kind of like houses do, you know, and except theirs is much bigger out back. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that's something to think about, right?
Oh, it's hot over here right now.
Meanwhile, we were flying over New York City with part of our military independence show. Yeah. Boy, that independence show, they had that storm come in over there and they had to delay it because I think the president didn't speak until like 11 o'clock at night. But what a great, I used to do that for the government. When I was over in Korea, I was an entertainment guy. I brought bands and groups over and sang for the troops and all that stuff. That was one of my jobs.
You were the entertainment manager?
Yeah. And so
not the entertainment guy, because the entertainment guy gets on the stage.
Yeah, I'm not the entertainment guy. But I'd bring them over and put on these shows for them. Well, and I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the fireworks. I'm sorry. So on the 4th of July, I would have to do the contracts with the Korean companies that would place their order, and we'd put a show together. So we'd put about a 20-minute show together, and it cost about $18,000 for a 20-minute show. Okay. That fireworks thing, they shot off 841,000 fireworks during that 43 minutes, which made the Guinness World Record book of the most munitions on a 4th of July by a long shot. So I'm thinking, what I did for $18,000, can you imagine what they paid? You paid, we the people paid for that fireworks show. That was insane. That had to be in the $200,000, $300,000 range. It had to be some ungodly number. But yeah.
Gary from Jailbait Tackle and Outdoors has asked, is it true the New York City mayor is going to name the victims of the 911 attack and the pilots?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
And David says Trump was duped into nominating Amy to Supreme Court by Pence. She's a plant. Tamara says, I agree, David. Pence is a traitor. Hey, Crubby. Crubby the Beagle's joined the party.
All right, Crubby, how you doing? I'm reading these ones about Walmart. Yeah. I just think, I mean, if you're going to have a business that large and you don't have backup generator power, something's wrong with you.
The thing is, don't they sell generators?
They do have some, yeah. You can buy them. You can buy them at Sam's Clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why would you want to waste that much money? I mean, and plus they make these generators now. You can get the Generex generator and it runs off propane. I got a big old tank out here. I mean, you can just run a line to that. You don't have to worry about gas and changing out the fuel every year so it doesn't set so long. You run it off propane. Then you hit the test button every month. You start it up and it kicks on power. So they are expensive. Okay, they're in the $7,000 to $9,000 range, depending on your house. But if the time ever came, it's crazy. And all you got to do is make sure you got propane. And it's crazy. I mean, it's a good investment. And then you got to have your electric company come out and make sure it's all connected, right? Because the power you're not using off your generator gets pushed back onto the grid. So you got to have a special little meter on there for that. Yeah, Pence, I don't know what happened to Pence. But he's always been a middle of the road conservative. He has left tendencies and right tendencies. Okay. But it doesn't
we all do that.
Left tendencies don't work anymore in the state of Indiana, right next to that blue state, Illinois. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, hey, glad we got fired up. Again, if you want to come up, please hit the link on the chat box. Come on up here and join the conversation. So supporters say Europe needs an immigration system that allows that actually enforces its decisions. It's one thing to come up with something. It's another one to enact them. Critics say these overseas centers could become detention facilities operating beyond meaningful legal and public oversight. That means it's ran by the other country. They can tell you to go pound sand. You can't come in, depending on, and hopefully they're treating them right and they're doing what they're supposed to process them. But there are a lot of criminals. All right. And the EU is saying if you're a migrant, even if they gave you some kind of protective status, you commit a crime, you are deported, they strip you of your protective rights, and you're gone. In 1 month, when they enacted this back in April, in the month of April, May, Germany turned away 18,000 migrants. Okay? Because they're back at their border stations. They're back at checking everybody that's coming in. And people say, oh, I'm coming here, I'm claiming asylum and stuff like that. They hold them there and they turned them all away. They said no. And I think it was like out of 18,000 people they turned away, they accepted 1,200. Okay. So Germany's serious about this. Okay. Germany is dead serious on this. Okay.
Germany woke up.
They woke up, not woke up. Here's the question. Is Europe finally taking control of an immigration system that has not been working? Or is the European Union building a detention and deportation system that could threaten basic human rights? Again, if you came into a country illegally, you're already a criminal. Okay? Yeah, they had open borders. Nobody was there to check, and we just walked our asses right in. Okay? But the level of crime that is happening in these European countries is freaking staggering. Okay. I watched a report where it was some kind of festival that was going on, and what these kids do, and they've done it hundreds of times in Germany, is they create this barrier circle with all these guys. All right. So people can't see what's going on in the middle of the circle at these places. And they fight off police, they fight off people, and they rape women in these circles. They're called rape circles. And women are just absolutely, because you got to remember something, a lot of countries where a lot of people come from, women are third-class citizens. They are property. So they have no respect. And trying to find the person, who committed the actual crime. Everybody else is an accessory because they know what's going on. This is not just happening in Germany. It's happening all over Europe. Okay. They have no respect for them. And so Germany's sick of it. They voted out the left and brought in the right. And now other countries are following suit. Okay. Greece has had enough of this shit. Greece has gone crazy deportations. Okay. They are cleaning out their city. They're beating the shit out of their own people to get to them. The illegal aliens, they said, if you come out there and protest, you're getting your ass handed to you. And that's what they're doing. Okay. Could you imagine us? Hey, if you interfere, we're going to just beat the shit out of you. Okay. Even if you're an American or not, and throw you in jail. All right. For, interfering with the police action. And it's not just the police. They're bringing in their military people too. All right. So if you cause some trouble, somebody's kicking your ass. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that we need to get a little bit tougher about all this shit, because we ain't got time, all these protests. And they're getting paid here in the States. The same thing's happening overseas. The people are paying them to protest. All right. But it's going to get ugly before it gets better. Okay. And people are sick and tired of all this stuff. And we also want to address the question shown here is, are open border policies the real reason Europe is facing this problem, or is the situation more complicated than that? Well, here's the deal. The Syrian president, all right, in a meeting with the EU said, because they said, we have 500,000 Syrians that we want to send back to your country. And he said, no, we can't handle that influx of people. Dude, they came from your place. All right. And so they're just saying, we're flying in and we're letting them out. And he's saying, no, you're not. Okay. So, because right now they kept them there because of the wars in their country. Well, now there's no war. The United States isn't bombing Syria anymore unless they do something freaking stupid. But they were brought in under a protective status because the violence that was going on in their country. They have a lot of Palestinians in Europe. They have a lot of Syrians in Europe. They have a lot of Iraqis in there, people from Turkey. And it is freaking insane. Paying attention to it. We don't normally in the States pay attention to what's going on over in Europe. We just concentrate on what's going on here in our country, and then, but is it the duty of countries to protect these people? Because I'm not saying they're all bad people. I'm sure there's a lot of great people that fled from these countries and went into European countries or the United States or whatever, Canada. I'm sure there's a lot of good people. So how should the law be ran, Paul? Should it be only criminals, or do you get rid of the whole problem altogether?
Get rid of the fucking lot.
Okay.
If they've come in illegally, they are illegal. If they've come in through proper channels, I've got no problem with that.
Do you think when, I don't know, Nigel's party, is that the Reform Party?
Reform, yeah.
If the Reform Party gets into office, do you think it's their duty to prosecute those leaders that caused this freaking fiasco?
I do, but the sad thing is, our prime ministers that have been behind this will never get prosecuted.
Really?
And Starmer, he was well, as far as I'm aware, he still is a legal mind.
Really?
Yeah, he was in one of the top tier, I don't know what you lot call it, we have barristers. He used to wear the wig going into Crown Court.
So what did European Union actually do?
Fuck all.
The first thing everybody needs to know and understand is that this is not an individual European country changing its immigration law. This is an attempt to create a more unified return system across all 27 EU countries or member states. On June 1st, negotiators representing the European Parliament and the Council of the European Union reached a provisional agreement on the new EU return regulation. The European Parliament then approved the agreement on June 17th by a vote of 418 in favor and 218 against, and 30 countries or representatives abstained from the vote. The measure still requires formal adoption by the Council and the publication in the EU's official journal before it fully enters into force. We can now say that the political agreement has been reached in the Parliament, and they have approved it, but the final legal process must be completed. The regulation applies to non-EU nationals who have already received a legal decision stating that they do not have the right to remain in the country. This also includes rejected asylum seekers, people who have overstayed their legal permission to remain, because a lot of these people, they get a temporary status, and when it runs out, they just try to blend into the community and they don't leave the country. Okay. And why would you? Why would you? But if you get caught, you get a free ticket to the detention center somewhere in Africa now. Does not mean that every migrant entering Europe will automatically be deported. People still have the right to apply for asylum, and European governments still have the legal obligation towards refugees and people who face persecution. Okay. Now, persecution isn't in the mind of the beholder. It's on the world stage. Okay. for example, people came in and flooded in and they wanted protective status because Venezuela was out of frickin' control, excuse me. And they feared for their
What I
lives.
told you.
So
What
I know
I told you.
it's a curse word, and I'm trying to control my cursing.
We have advertised. Well, you have advertised this as adult content.
I know, but I'm still
So
trying.
when you slip up,
I
do
still try to
not
be a gentleman sometimes, Paul.
Pardon?
I try to be a gentleman sometimes. But anyway,
The gentlemen swear.
yeah, I mean you can. I don't know. It's just a habit. I just felt like doing it. So anyway, they feared persecution over in their country. All right.
That's me slapping him across the back of the head.
Now that there's a new government in place in Venezuela, now that they're going after all the drug dealers and all that stuff in Venezuela, now that they're going after all the drug manufacturing plants out in the jungles and stuff like that, now when they got rid of the corrupt police that Maduro was handling and stuff like that, now that they're reforming their military, there's no reason why people can't return to their country. All right. Now they have a government in place that's working for the people and not, stripping them of everything they've got. Okay. And trying to get rich, because now the US government is controlling the purse that supports the people and the reconstruction of their country into a democracy. So there. So if you're Venezuelan, it's okay to go back home. If you're caught, we return you to Venezuela. It's a better place than hence you left. Okay. So that's what you got to understand. All right. But still, there's people in Europe that say, oh, that's wrong. That's just like we got people here. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. Do they really feel that way, or are they being paid to act that way? I don't know.
They're daft enough to believe it. Some of them.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I look at America, and America is made up of people from everywhere in the world. Okay. But we're still not equipped for people to come into the country with nothing and give them everything.
Yeah.
When people in the country are suffering.
Same here.
All right. I just don't understand people that can say, hey, yeah, sure. My state spent $63 billion on immigration, but they haven't done anything for my community. They keep taking from us. They keep raising our taxes, all right, to pay for all this stuff. And I'm getting nothing in return. That's taxation without representation.
Fear not farmers just bought up. The problem is that our politicians are doing the bidding of globalists. The entire design is to disrupt borders. We didn't have a good reason to mess with Syria, Lebanon, or Iraq.
Yeah. See,
Afghanistan, you name it. These people hate America because we have brought utter chaos to their country in the name of globalism. Remember when Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, we died?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pity she fucking didn't.
Yeah. All right. Everybody knows I served in the military. I was in the Army. I went to Iraq. I went to Kuwait. I went to Saudi Arabia. I went to Israel. I went to Turkey on deployments. And I don't think what Iraq did to Kuwait should have been left alone. I think what we accomplished with the country of Kuwait who didn't have a military to protect themselves worth spit against, the Iraqi guard. But what I do believe is we should have never stayed the length of time that we've stayed over there, and we're still there. Okay,
We've still got people over there.
I think if you ask me, what we should have done is gone over there and knocked the holy piss out of them. Okay, knock the holy piss out of them, cripple their military just like we did Iran.
Yep.
Help the Kuwaitis, let them rebuild their country back up, all right, in a positive way, which they already have. You wouldn't even know there was a freaking war there at one time. I flew through it in a Black Hawk, and I know it was destroyed.
I'm in agreement there. We should never have stopped when we did.
Because listen, the people in Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, all these countries have been fighting since the beginning of time against themselves, against other people, and stuff like that. I agree that I would go to war or to a conflict or whatever if a country was attacked like Kuwait was. Go in there, kick their asses, set up a border, let them rebuild, let their people return to their country. But guys, we went over there and we were one of the first units over there, August of 90. We are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With the technology that we have right now, do we really need to have military bases in these countries when we can reach them? Every country in the world, we can reach them. Look what we did to Iran without putting one boot on the ground. Okay. The old saying, fuck around, find out. FAFO. Okay. That's what they got to understand. They've been fighting for centuries and they don't understand, or they don't accept diplomacy. They only understand strength. Okay. And still, even when there's no military, Navy sunk, Air Force gone, Army people have just been obliterated. They have been fighting and living this way for so long. They just don't understand when they're beat. Okay. They will not lose their grip on control of that country. I don't know if they're stupid or they just do not want to lose control and the power over their people. Because you remember, before this regime came in, the Shah of Iran, yes, he was still making money hand over fist and stuff like that, but it was a different Iran back then. Okay. And you look at all these people, look at Saddam Hussein, all the money, the riches and all that stuff he was taking from his people. The Shah of Iran was doing the same thing. Maduro over in Venezuela doing the same thing. The Castros in Cuba doing the same thing. It just seems like, they've been living that way for so long and people accepted it. Then when they leave the country and they go to a capitalist country like the United States, they go to places like Europe and stuff like that, and they go, holy crap, why would I want to leave this and go back to the sandbox? There's no damn way. Some people's never seen forest in their life. Okay. One guy was doing an interview and he goes, I can't believe how green it is here. Because he came from the middle of a desert and that's all he's ever seen. and he escaped that and came to the United States. So is it a problem? Yes, it is a huge problem. Okay. So why are EU leaders saying the current system is failing? One of the main arguments from supporters is that that Europe has been issuing return orders that are rarely carried out. They're going, okay, you can't stay here no more. Next, and you have to leave. They're not leaving. Okay. According to the European Commission, the effective return rate increased to approximately 28% in 2025. That means that most people ordered to leave the European Union did not actually leave during their time period. EU officials argue that this gap damages confidence in the entire immigration and asylum system. Their position is straightforward. If a government conducts an asylum hearing, allows appeals, and finally determines that someone does not qualify to remain, that decision must have a realistic chance of being enforced. Meaning, if you go in front of your thing and they say you can't stay, these gentlemen will escort you to the exit, meaning a detention place, a flight, and will get you out of the country. Otherwise, supporters say the law exists mostly on paper, and there are several recent deportations failed. The person may disappear or move to another EU country. All right. Authorities may not know the person's identity or nationality. The person's home government may refuse to issue travel documents for them to come back to their own country. Okay. In some cases, conditions in the detention country may make deportation illegal under international law. Well, you know what we think in America about international law. They can go pound sand. Okay. That last issue is extremely important because of the principle known as the non-refoulement. Non-refoulement or refoulement means that a government cannot return a person to a country where there is a serious risk that the person will face persecution, torture, or other severe mistreatment. I mean, if you return someone to the United States that committed a crime, yeah, to come back here, yeah, you'll probably be thrown in prison too. The new regulation says that arguments with third countries must respect international law, human rights, and that principle. The controversy is whether those protections will work effectively in practice. So they're afraid that when they send people to these detention facilities in these African countries where they're paying them millions of dollars a year to run a prison or a detention center to hold them, or as the European Union likes to use, a hub, okay, that the people will not be treated right. All right. Now, the term return hubs. I mean, they love these little. It's a detention center, okay. It's a holding cell or whatever. A return hub would be a facility in a non-EU country used to house or receive migrants who have been ordered to leave the European Union. Under the agreement, a return hub could serve as a final destination or as a temporary transfer point before the person returns to their country of origin. So they want to use these hubs. Like I said, it could be permanent because you committed a crime in France and you're going there because they don't want to take care of you in their prisons. Yeah.
Johnny and Christine have joined us.
All right. Hey, Gillum Farms. Welcome in. I can't. call you.
That's supposed to be Paul. You will believe anything that MI6, Mossad, or the CIA tells you. We support terrorists, yes. We are intelligence groups, fund billions and trillions of dollars into Tara's hands. He believes Gaddafi was not a glutinous leader and should not have been taken out.
Oh. Well.
Gaddafi was a pig.
To be quite honest, the globalists were very afraid of Gaddafi because he showed that you could have a prosperous country without a central bank charging interest with illegally. Well, we all have our beliefs. I have
my beliefs, and I believe they're right.
That was over there when the whole Benghazi thing happened. He lost his life. So, the government of Canada is
a terrorist group. They are slowly crippling the Canadians.
Well, I agree. Here's what I don't understand. It's kind of like, remember we did the one about the 51st state and how Alberta wanted to leave and become the 51st state. Anyway, man, did I get the comments afterwards by a lot of Canadians. In fact, you guys go back to that one and you can read the comments down there. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to know what the people thought. And let me tell you something. Canadians are not happy with the way their country's being run. They are freaking pissed. Okay?
Welcome to our world.
Tax. And we're not going to do shit for you. In fact, we're going to curtail some of your things that you used to have. We're going to curtail those things and make your life even more miserable.
So we can give it away to those who want to come in.
Then you got to say, to accomplish what? To accomplish what? What are you doing to make Canada great? All right? They're doing absolutely squat. Okay? They make laws in Ottawa that everybody has to follow. But life in Alberta is not the same life as if you're in Quebec, Canada, or Toronto, or Montreal. Okay? It doesn't work out there. But you got to follow them. All these EPA
That's why they want to split.
And all these licenses, you're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Okay? And you're going to put what you say, what's good for one is good for all. Okay? But they're coming up with some stupid shit that I don't understand. I mean, all you have to do is type in crazy laws in Canada. Dude, we thought we had some. These guys are some Fruit Loops up there that's running that country. Okay? And here's my thought.
What's an injustice to Fruit Loops?
I agree that there should be zero tariffs between us and Canada. Zero. There should be none. Canada depends on a lot of stuff from the United States. Okay? A lot. And we depend on quite a few things from Canada. Okay? Especially their lumber industry. Okay? But these freaking government, and you guys aren't alone, okay? Our government is just as insane as everybody else's, okay? They're not working for we the people. They're working for their agenda, okay? And we've talked about this many times, and it pisses me off, all right? This fighting between Trump and their prime minister, that shit's got to end. It's got to end. because if we do a reciprocal tariff, meaning whatever you charge us, we charge you. Why can't it be zero between us and Canada? Why? Because they're making too much freaking money. Okay. And when it comes to tariffs, the business people who pay tariffs to go into other countries they don't receive any money from our government on the tariffs we collect from when people ship stuff into our country. I mean, in what was it, less than 3 months, we had $192 billion of tariff money in less than 3 months when Trump came into office. And the federal government says Trump can't do that. The SCOTUS, Supreme Court, says Trump can't do that. That is the business of the Congress. And the Congress still hasn't got off their ass and come up with a law or something to give the federal government the right to levy tariffs. What the fuck are you guys doing up there? All right. You're worried about somebody who did somebody wrong way back when. Who gives a crap about that stuff? America's tired of all that stuff. Get busy and correct stuff now. All right. Get rid of that 60 vote thing in the Senate. All right. Because if the Democrats were in place, they would want to get rid of it too. They wanted to get rid of it before, but they didn't have the votes. All right. It should be a simple majority. It passes. If you're in power, you get to make all the laws. Ye with all the gold make all the rules, right? Because if the Democrats
Edna must have finished.
What's that?
We're getting a love raid from Husky Edna's.
All right. Man, that thing's
Rice Lewis and Jolly Huggers have come over.
That thing's been going on for 12, 13 hours. Her live. That's a long live. Welcome in, Jolly Huggers. Good to see you. So that brings us down to, let me get to it.
Don't forget Rice Lewis.
Which countries in Europe are already pursuing these centers? At least 5 EU countries have been working together on plans for a possible return hub, or AKA a detention center. Germany, Austria, Netherlands, Denmark, and Greece. Greek officials have said those countries are discussing possible agreements with an unnamed third country, most likely in Africa. The goal reported being discussed is to reach an agreement during 2026 and potentially having facilities operating by 2027. Greece has said that it has already held consultations with 2 African countries, although it has not publicly identified them. The lack of public information is one reason opponents are demanding more transparency. They just want news bites. That's what they want. And anything that you're doing positive, people want to do the opposite. EU Migration Commissioner Magnus Brunner has said the European Commission would monitor these agreements and that international organizations for migration and the United Nations Refugee Agency would be involved in checking compliance with international protections. Well, and here's my thing. The United Nations they're as worthless as tits on a hog. Okay? They're worthless. They do nothing. They write scathing letters. Okay? They don't do anything. My thing, move the United Nations to another freaking country. Get them out of New York. All right? Get them out of our country. All right? Where they're protected and their kids are protected and all that stuff that goes on. All right? Get rid of them. The United Nations, and it's kind of like the World Health Organization. We pulled out of that. We think they're full of crap too. All right? But he has not stated that human rights standards and international law are non-negotiable. It is the official assurance. But critics respond that monitoring an offshore center is not necessarily the same as exercising full legal control over it. I don't know what that means, offshore, maybe offshore of Europe, over in another country or whatever. Italy and Albania, the model Europe is watching. A major example already influencing the debate is Italy's agreement with Albania. Okay. Italy established a facility in Albania intended to process or detain certain migrants outside of Italy's territory. Again, the out of sight, out of mind thing. The plan was presented as a way to reduce pressure on facilities already in Italy and discourage dangerous crossings. However, the agreement faced repeated legal complication, especially over whether the migrants involved could legally be sent there and whether their country of origin could consider their safe return. If you're here, and I guess this is what I don't understand, Paul. If people illegally comes in your country, all right, why is there such a thing? Oh, they need due process. They need this. They're not citizens of your country. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe somebody educate me on this. In the Constitution, is there somewhere in there that says if you illegally come into our country, you break our federal immigration laws, that you have all the rights of actual citizens of the United States or another country? You're having some kind of camera issue. I got a green screen on you, Paul.
It'll come back.
Okay. Somebody educate me on that. Am I right or wrong? You have every rights that I have, and you illegally came into the country?
No. If you come in illegally, you have no rights whatsoever unless some political party decides to say we can't deport them. And the more people they can get in on that grounds, it makes it harder to send them all back.
Oh, I agree. Kill them.
All because they want them to vote for them. And they don't give a shit about the people that put them in power to start with.
Yeah. I'm just at the point that I'm totally fed up with the politicians. None of them. I'm with you. I am with you. I am so with you. And I'll repeat this and I'll repeat this. Stop trying to fulfill your own personal agendas and worry about we the people. What do we the people need? Okay?
Right.
Not what we want. What do we need? Okay? The money that our government is shipping in boatloads overseas, what could we do? Stop that. All right? Stop that. Put that money to use here in the States, we wouldn't have this problem. Stop worrying about putting someone in jail from the Obama periods and the Biden periods and stuff like that and having all these freaking hearings and take care of us. Okay? Take care of us. First of all, you can work on the freaking healthcare problem in the United States. All right? And stop gouging the shit out of us. You can also start on the pharmaceutical. Why are we paying more than every other country in the world? It's like they're trying to make up their losses in the other parts of the world and charging us. That's what our Congress needs to work on. Healthcare, the insurance scams, these freaking companies not paying after a disaster. Okay? We've already found out through other government hearings that these insurance companies are criminals. Okay? and there's adjusters that are blowing the whistle on them and catching them with their pants down. That's what our Congress needs to work on. Those things that help us, we the people, and not helping every other country around the world. You know, in my mind, screw them. I love your shirt. Hey, you got pants on. Holy smokes.
I thought I'd have to bring that up with you, considering you just talking about pants down. Hi, Virginia. Virginia Alexander has joined the party.
It's starting on a lack of in America. I don't know what. Oh yeah. In fact, I found out that Terry's uncle has that same thing. He can't eat red meat or anything like that. He cheated the other day on that, and yeah, he got pretty messed up. He has.
Sweetie Ann Vlogs.
Huh?
Sweetie Ann Vlogs has joined us.
Yep.
Member for 6 months.
6 months. Hello, my darling. Insurance, pharma. Yeah. I mean, good morning, Virginia Alexander.
I'm actually going through natural remedies at the minute. And I tell you what, it's my personal experiment on myself. And I feel fucking great.
So the United Kingdom experienced something similar than what Italy was doing with its plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. The UK was working with the country of Rwanda to set up a detention center there. They better make it a big one. Okay. That program became tied up in court challenges and political controversy before being abandoned by the government in 2024, wasting millions of dollars on a program that they couldn't even get past their courts. The lesson is that announcing an offshore deportation system is much easier than making one legally and operationally functionable. Okay. Detention powers under the new regulation. Another controversial part of the agreement involves the detention. Under the legislation approved by Parliament, a person facing removal may be detained following an initial assessment of authorities believe that persons may abscond, refuse, or cooperate or present a security risk to the country. The standard detention period could last up to 24 months while they process your paperwork and give you a yes or a no. An additional extension of up to 6 months may be possible under certain circumstances, such as when information emerges or cooperation with a third country improves. So, yeah, what I'm seeing with these countries is they were putting the horse or the cart before the horse.
You have a super chat.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Then it comes up to the section, but anyway, they were putting the cart before the horse. They were trying to get the detention centers and agreements built before they went through the court systems. When they should have took the policy and put it before the court systems, the legal sections, before they started investing money in these detention centers in these unnamed African countries. Some of the strongest criticism has focused on investigative powers contained in the regulation. Authorities may allow a search or search individuals' residence, other relevant premises, persons belonging, and electronic devices when necessary to prepare or enforce the return. So in this agreement, they're saying that you can't stop them. They don't need warrants or anything like that to go into, your dwelling, where you're living, whether it's your place or not, in order to fulfill the deportation order. However, official Parliament language says those searches must be subject to judicial and administrative authorization and must comply with the EU and natural law. So where they're coming up with this law saying, hey, like no-knock raids and stuff like that, now, after they've done that, the legal systems and the Parliament are saying, well, wait, hang on. You have to abide by all these standards. You need warrants and stuff like that in order to do that. They do not recognize no-knock raids in most European countries. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Paul's
Good
having
morning, beautiful.
camera problems.
Why?
I don't know.
It's all right. I'll have a new one by Friday.
What?
He's having camera problems. There's
Oh,
Terry.
hello, beautiful.
She had a great birthday, and we did a fireworks show for her.
Yes.
To celebrate her birthday. Her birthday was on the 3rd. She normally doesn't get up this early and come in here and say hello to everybody, but she's here.
She's here and she's looking gorgeous.
She is. She
I
forgot
have to
her.
say what I like because it's all respect.
Yeah.
You've got to behave.
Your cowboy hat for 4th of July.
Yeah.
She looks good in a cowgirl hat. But she got one from Pops. He gave you that 250 anniversary cowboy hat.
You did?
Yeah. So
Is this camera flashing on everybody's screen or just mine?
that's just yours.
Flashing? It's flashing.
It's like your camera's about to go out.
Yeah.
Do we need to take a
There we
look?
go.
Get Paul a camera?
No need. I'll have a new one tomorrow.
Okay. You guys got Best Buys over there?
No, but we do have Amazon.
Oh, that's right. Amazon.
If I order before 6 o'clock tonight, it's usually here by 1 o'clock the following day.
Oh, okay. We use our camera's is a Logitech, but I
That's
think
what this one is.
we
But
paid,
I've had it for a few years.
we paid way too much for this one, but it's a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. I've had this camera through 3 computers.
Oh, wow. Hey, so another major change is the creation of the standardized European return orders. Right now, a person may receive a return decision in one EU country and move to another member state. However, the return order follows them. So all they have to do is run the person's name or identification fingerprints, and they can find out if another EU country gave them a deportation order, where before everybody was working by themselves and none of the countries talk to each other. So now they can follow that. Because European countries have different systems, records, and procedures, the second country in the past did not immediately enforce the original decision because they didn't know about it. That happened in another country. The European return order is designed to provide a common format for all EU countries within the system. Member states will initially be able to recognize and enforce another country's return decision at any time. The European Commission is expected to review the system within 3 years and may later propose making mutual recognition and or facial recognition mandatory. Supporters say it is closer to a major loophole. Critics worry that the bad or the rushed decision made in one country could follow someone across the entire European Union. That raises another key question. How much trust should each EU country place in the asylum and immigration decision made by another member state? Some countries like Greece is cut and dry. We have too many of you. You're from this country. You're out of here. That's it. Where you may go to France and it's tied up in court forever and decisions can't be made and they put temporary status on you. Greece ain't like that. All right. The Scandinavian countries aren't like that. They're getting rid of them. They are sick of it. All right. And everything is always tied up. How can it be legal to return you to your own country when there's no war going on? I just don't get it. All right. We're sending you back, hence you came. But guys, why are European politics shifting to the right? To understand why this is happening, we need to go back to 2015. More than 1 million migrants and refugees arrived in Europe during the 2015-2016 crisis, many fleeing wars from Syria and instability wherever in the Middle East and Africa. Countries such as Greece and Italy faced enormous pressure as at major entry points. Germany accepted large numbers of asylum seekers. The European Union struggled to agree on how responsibility should be shared. The political consequence continued for years. Voters became increasingly concerned about border control. Border control, because remember, when they became this whole European Union, all the borders went and now they have no freaking clue who's in their country. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Yan, hello. Right-wing and populist parties gained influence across multiple countries, but it would be too simple to say every European voter who supports stricter migration controls are far right or anti-immigration. They're just sick of all the crime. Okay. Some voters support legal migration and refugee protection, but still believe failed asylum applicants should leave. Others believe governments use humanitarian language to avoid enforcing immigration law. At the same time, some politicians' movements have used migration to stir fear, all right, exacerbate threats, or direct public anger towards vulnerable groups, which is illegal. You can't do that, all right? But both realities could be true, all right? The migration system experienced real problems, and politicians sometimes exploit those problems. And we see that here in the United States as well over in the European Union. Does Europe have open borders? Now, let's address the question directly. The accurate answer is not in a way that phrases.
The accurate answer is yes.
Not in a way that phrase is often used. The EU has external borders that are legally controlled, but they do not have borders within the EU. Okay? They monitor everything around the big EU footprint, but once you get past that, there's no borders within the EU itself. The people entering from outside the bloc are entering to follow migration and asylum laws. However, I'm going to mess this up. The Schengen area allows travel across many internal European borders without routine passport checks. Once someone enters the Schengen area, traveling between participating countries can be easier than you may think. In fact, you're not stopped anywhere. That creates real enforcement challenges when migrants move from one member state to another. So when people, what is that one? Oh, your Walmart order will be here at 10:47. The ability to claim asylum, the difficulty of deporting rejected applicants, movement between countries inside this area, or policies that allow large number of migrants to remain while cases are being pended. So if this thing goes into full effect, if you're pending an asylum thing, your butt is shipped to some African country for up to 24, all right, months in there, and that's where you're waiting. So the concern is that detention center a good place to be? Are they following the human rights? Are you getting, 3 hots and a cot? All right. Do you have the capability of, I don't know, let's say using the internet or something, some office space to work your case? How do you talk to your lawyer? Those are the things that people are saying, hey, this is, but Germany's prisons, France's prisons, everybody in the EU, their prisons are filled with criminals that have been tried and put away. They don't want to capture criminals within their country. Now, being a criminal and being on their most wanted list or whatever is different than you're an asylum seeker. Should they be housed in the same place? Should there be a prison part of it and a detention part of it? I mean, it's up in the air. But I guess the thing I don't like is the EU speaking for all the countries. You know what I mean? Because each country has their own judicial system. They have their own laws. But I do agree that in one country, let's say Greece can say, hey, we're cut and dry. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We want you gone. Where you might go to France and they're a little bit more, touchy-feely, have more feelings towards you, and every case should be seen separately and so on and so forth. So I don't know how this EU Parliament is actually speaking for every country equally, and if it meets their needs. You know what I mean? I just don't understand that. And you say?
Well, I mean, you're talking about the borders with the EU and how it's open within the EU. You can go wherever you want to. Once you've arrived in, say, France, you can go wherever you want.
Right.
The EU. But I would say, for argument's sake, that you could land in New York City and go wherever you want in the United States. It's not much different.
It's not much different. But in their case, what actual border is their external border? I mean, it never says, how are we protecting the external border of the EU so people have to be checked before they go in there? That's a lot of country. That border around the whole EU, how do you protect all that?
Right.
They don't have walls up, although Poland's doing a great job.
I mean, it'd have to be like what we have with Mexico and Canada.
Yeah.
You have that area to where they have to go through a certain zone.
Yeah. But then you got, let's just say, for example, You have all the Ukrainians that flooded into Europe. Okay. They all flooded into Europe under the protection of asylum because the fear of death and persecution and all that within the Ukraine.
Right.
Okay. How do you find all those people, those millions of people, after the war's over? Unless they go, hey, I want to go back to my country.
Well, they have to register as asylum seekers.
Exactly.
No different than the Somalis and everybody else that came here.
But then you've got the
asylum.
ones that never did that.
That's
the problem.
You can get it here too.
Yeah, you got the same thing here. So yeah, I mean, it's a difficult thing to work out, and I understand all so the arguments in favor of the new rules. First, the legal system loses credibility when final decisions are not enforced. I mean, that's just like us. We have an immigration law, but for years we never enforced the immigration law. Okay? And we didn't. Criminals do criminal things. If you broke into a country legally, you broke the law. Why should you be treated differently? I agree. Treat them the way they were treated. They came in illegally, kick them out. All right. Remember, right now, what was that law that you had to stay outside the country when you're seeking asylum? You had to stay in Mexico. That return in that stay in Mexico law. I can't remember. It doesn't hit me in the back of the head. But we had a law. It ran out. Okay, and that was a bad thing. And one of the things that we got to fear is politicians in place being do nothing politicians. Okay, do nothing politicians don't work for me. All right, how many times did you hear Brandon Biden say, I'm just president. I can't stop it. I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. I don't make the law. Okay. And that's what he said. And then what happened on the 20th of January? All right. A year and a half ago. Trump came into office, executive order, closed the fucking border. Boom. How hard was that? It wasn't hard at all. All you do is do an executive order. You're the president. In the executive branch, his job is the safety of America. Close the frickin' border. And what did they do? They closed the border. What did Biden do? Well, down there on the southern border while he was in, he was selling off all that metal, those metal fencing things that they were putting up. They were stacked up because he stopped all that. And he auctioned off the metal to the highest bidder. Pennies on the dollar. Okay. He sold that stuff. They came in, cut it all up, went and sold it for scrap. Tons and tons of the stuff. So then when Trump got in, he kicked it right back up. Get back to work. He got money for it. Transferred money out of the Defense Department. It's the defense of the United States, so he moved it over there. Then everybody wanted to crucify him for transferring funds. You may make the law, but the president controls the funds and making sure it's spent correctly. So the border's almost done. All right. It would have been done. It would have been done already. Okay. But I just don't understand how Europe can protect that much border. Okay. Unless each member state builds if they're on the border, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't have to build nothing if you're in the middle. But would they say, okay, all the countries got to contribute the money to build this fence or whatever around all these countries? I just don't get it. All right. So who pays for the return hubs? Host countries will not operate these centers for free. Arguments may include direct payments, economic assistance, security funding, trade benefits, visa access, or other incentives for these countries to have these detention centers. The European Commission has already described visa policy, trade policy, and financial tools as part of the border effort to persuade third countries to operate in these returns and readmissions. That creates a difficult political question. Is Europe paying for other nations to help enforce legitimate immigration decisions? All right. So it's one thing if you're part of the EU and you have a country that's a non-EU country, how do you get them to work with you and not send these people over? Or is it a business for them? And are they getting paid like the cartels down in Mexico? How much is being paid for? Who owns and operates the facilities? Which countries' laws apply within the facility? How long may somebody remain? We found that out. It's 24 months, but it could be extended another 6 months. What independent inspections are required? What happens when abuse is reported? And what happens if the government or the host government cancels the agreement? What happens to all those people that are in these detention centers? Will the return hubs determine migration? Supporters believe return hubs could discourage irregular migration. So, publicly saying, if you come into our country, we're going to ship your ass to a detention center, might deter people from coming in. Okay. Depending on their government. Many migrants.
I've got a simple solution for our problem.
What's that?
Sink the fucking boats.
Oh, the ones coming from France?
Yeah. Every time the French destroyer gets to the halfway point that's escorting them, as soon as they come across our border, our Navy should be sinking the fucking boats.
But who are they on what boats are they transferring these people on?
No, they're not transferring them. They are practically giving them these inflatable boats.
Oh, really?
On the French side. Oh, yeah. On the French side, they're giving them these inflatable boats to come across.
Oh, my God.
The money that we've paid them to stop, they immediately went out and bought more boats.
Wow.
So they're even giving them a destroyer escort to the halfway point between France and England.
Wow.
I think I've told you this before. They gave them an escort who then asked the British destroyer, Coast Guard, that met them at the halfway point and then escorted them to the landings.
Really?
To give them the life jackets so they could give them back to the French.
Huh.
Because they were actually the destroyer's own life jackets.
Yep.
So if that's not fucked up, what is?
And so then the rafts, they bring the rafts over. Who collects the rafts? They just leave them there on the shore?
Oh, they're not just left on the shore. They are collected and stored.
And returned to France so they can use them.
No, they don't get them back.
Really?
Yeah. There's a fishing village down on the southeast coast at the minute that is being used for storage and has over 50 of the rafts already.
That's down by Dover?
Yeah.
The White Cliffs of Dover?
Yeah. And that's where they're coming over. They're coming over there, and they're actually slowly making their way up the east side,
Oh, wow.
especially those that are coming from Belgium.
Oh, through the English Channel?
Yeah, it's been proved one of the, I don't know what you call them, jackals, is it? That
Coyote?
Coyote. Yeah, I knew it was a dog.
I
But
knew
we've got one of them living in a village over here that made millions off them sending them over.
Hey, Sal, I want to say thank you for all your hard work on Freedom Weekend. You did a great job, brother. Man, that guy was running around. He was working his butt off. And Sal,
Have you seen
did a great job.
that boy doesn't know how to slow down? Have you seen what he does when he's not working for Jeff?
Yeah.
Did you see what he did with Drew?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I seen that. Yeah. Yep, I sure did. Man, he's a worker. Yeah, we had a great time. I was pleasantly surprised how the weather changed on the 4th. It was a welcome sight from all that.
I'm
heat.
so glad you traitorous colonials had a wonderful weekend.
Well, yeah, we had a great time. I mean, millions of dollars was spent into the economy for that. So,
yeah, millions of dollars went up and bang.
right. That's right. And now we hold the world record for the largest fireworks show ever held. So I don't know how much that cost us, but it cost us a pretty penny.
You mean you took it off Australia?
Yeah. So I think the best, I mean, I wasn't there. I watched it on TV at I think the fireworks show started like at 11:56 in the PM, and it got over at 12:43 on the 5th of July. That was a long almost 45-minute fireworks show. And it was in multiple locations within DC. It wasn't just in one place. And they lit that place up. Hey, after a while, you couldn't even hardly see the fireworks because of all the smoke. I mean, they smoked that place up.
Well, at least it wasn't.
Yeah.
At least the smoke wasn't from somebody's roof.
Yeah. But anyway, I think the only other one that I really enjoyed, we were in Korea. We went down to Busan, and they have this 2-kilometer bridge that goes over the bay, and they rigged that entire bridge up. They had barges out there in the ocean by the bridge and all that. And then we paid to have a table, so we could have a table there. You bring your own food, and they give you the chairs, the tables, and we got to watch this gigantic fireworks show down there for the January 1st, wasn't it?
No.
It was the New Year.
It's some special fireworks thing they put together.
It was cold.
It was cold.
So I thought it was New Year's.
No, it wasn't New Year's.
All right, I was wrong, guys, once again.
I can't remember.
My wife is correcting me. She needs the exact date.
It was October or November. I don't know.
Okay. So it was
Thanksgiving Day.
I've ever seen. So, but guys, I don't know if all the countries over in Europe are going to be swinging to the right because the people are so freaking fed up with the way the left is running their countries. People are pissed. And I know we can look at Britain, how the people got together and voted not to be part of that crazy European Union. Okay, they're still part of NATO, but they're not part of the European Union. So why do you need to be part of one when you're a member of the other one? Because if you're a member of the EU, you got to pay the EU and all these people's salary that run the EU. Why would you want to take that on? And then you got to turn around and pay 5% of your GDP into NATO and the defense for NATO. It doesn't make sense. Why do you need another union? That when they created that union and opened the borders, that was the beginning of the end of the beautiful and great place of Europe. I lived there for 16 years. And
have you seen what Britain have done with their NATO stockpile? Where do you think Ukraine got their battle tanks from?
Oh, that's right. I did read that. They're shipping all that stuff down there. And you know what? Some of it doesn't even work. They're just getting rid of it to clear spaces. That's crazy.
No, not the Challenger 2s.
No. But they were
Challenger 2s were.
They sent them and they said, oh, they didn't work. And they said, oh, no, we sent them down there so you could have parts.
Yeah. They sent the ones that didn't work for spare parts for the ones that do.
Yeah. There you go. There's your parts chain. So, I mean, what do you think they're doing in Afghanistan with all the vehicles and everything we use? They run them. They, oh, man, it's broke. We'll just cannibalize off another one and get this thing running again. That was a blunder. Oh, my God.
But 5 battle tanks from Britain took out an entire armored convoy.
Yep.
And they were 4 miles away.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know how how the Russians are putting up with this, because now the Ukraine is striking within Moscow. Yeah. They're making a point. They sent 2,400 drones at one time and just started. They're waking I guess it took that to wake the Russian people up that lived outside the battles areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just know where's all the young men? I don't see them. They're just disappearing left and right. Yeah, because he's
since this conflict started, I am getting inundated.
Yeah.
Since this conflict started, I'm getting inundated with websites of Ukrainian and Russian girls.
Well, Paul, you might want to think about becoming a member of one of those sites so you can find a wife.
I ain't looking for a third one.
They don't have Paul, they do have sites for wife for a night.
Mike, I have the best site in the world for that. It's called Lefty or Righty. I'm ambidextrous. I can use either hand.
I have an answer to your question.
What was the question?
You had a question about the Constitution and immigration.
Yeah.
So the Constitution does not address immigration specifically. However, they put a thing in there that granted Congress the power to establish a uniform rule of naturalization. And the Supreme Court has interpreted the federal government to have exclusive power over who is admitted into the country and how they become citizens. So that's the only thing about that. However, there are amendments and due process, which you were talking about earlier. Do immigrants have the right, or illegals have the right? So due process and equal protection, the 5th and 14th Amendments apply to all persons inside U.S. borders, not just citizens.
It says persons?
Persons. This means that immigrants, regardless of their legal status, are entitled to due process of law, such as removal proceedings in immigration court and equal protection under the law.
Right. Okay.
So that's where you balked.
Well, that would mean, in the same case with the EU, if you go into an asylum, you don't give them a piece of paper and say, hey, you have 30 days to leave the country, and thinking, hey, they're going to leave the country. It should be your asylum has been denied. You've gone to your court. bailiff, please remand that person to the bus outside that's going to Africa or whatever, or back to Syria or whatever. They shouldn't be left on their own accord to say that they're going to leave the country. They should be escorted. There should be door A, you get to stay. Door B, you're going back. B for back. Okay? That's the way they should do it. But what the Europeans are doing is giving them an order, and they're not following the order, and they're just, blending into the society and not leaving until all of a sudden they get caught doing something or whatever. And then they're found out.
And that's how we end up with sleeper cells in the United States and Europe.
And I was shocked that there wasn't a sleeper cell on 4th of July.
I was as well.
I was pleasantly surprised that nothing happened. But anyway, so guys, immigration, it's not just here. It's not just in Canada. It's not just in individual states in Europe. It's all the countries are facing this. All the countries are sick and tired. All the countries are voting.
Every Christian state is sick and tired of it.
People are voting to support this direction of, getting rid of all this migration problem because it's ruining their cities. It's ruining their countries. People they don't feel safe. They haven't felt safe in Europe in many, many years. Okay. Right now, you couldn't, if you thought, hey, I think I'm going to run for mayor of London. Well, number one, if you're not Muslim, you're not going to be the mayor of London. Permanent. That's it. They're letting everybody vote in these cities, whether you're a citizen or not. So.
Well, the Muslims are doing exactly what they said they would do. They would go and infiltrate by outnumbering the people in the.
Yep, they're outnumbering everybody, and they've already outnumbered everybody in London. So it is what it is, guys. Then our laws are so freaking tiresome. Everything when we turn left, we turn right. It's got to wait. Now it has to work its way up to the Supreme Court, and finally, someone's saying, "Hey, that's not right," or "Hey, anchor babies are okay. They're protected under the 14th Amendment." Okay. So now Trump can't touch those. They get to stay here. I don't know unless
I'm going to have to go.
From someplace. If you're an illegal alien, I'm pretty sure that you're not just walking into a hospital when it's time to deliver.
Sure you are.
Well, yeah, you could because it's free.
It absolutely is.
It's absolutely free.
They don't report them.
And they're not going to report them. You're right. So, how do you prove I was born in the United States?
I mean, anybody visiting here can, I'm just visiting, but I'm having, I went into labor, so I got to deliver somewhere, so you're going to go to a hospital.
Well, that's not my question. How do you prove you were born in the United States if you have no paperwork?
Because the baby has a birth certificate from the United States. The hospital gives you the birth certificate.
What if you didn't?
What do you mean?
What if you didn't go to a hospital, but you were born in the United States? Your fear was so great that you didn't go.
They're going because they want to have that birth certificate.
Oh. So ICE is waiting at the front door?
Yeah.
Prego's on this bus, or you're going to go to Mexico?
No, but the thing is anybody, like I said, you could be visiting, say Philly and Keely, if they were here and she had to deliver a baby, she's going to go to a hospital to have it done.
Oh.
Now, they'd probably be smart. They go up to Canada because it's cheaper for them.
Yeah.
Because they
it's expensive to have a baby.
Yeah. But
they don't have to pay for it.
Well, they would. Yes, they would. If they came to the United States, well, they could not pay for it and get away with it eventually.
Just like all the other illegal people.
But they're not illegal. They're here visiting on a visa.
Yeah, they have a traveling visa.
Right.
And they've been here a long time. Where do they go up to Canada? Then come back down?
Well,
there?
they're back in Ireland.
Oh, they're back in Ireland.
Yeah, because she is pregnant and they had a.
Oh, she is pregnant.
Yeah.
Tell them what their channel?
Philly and Keely, but they.
Philly and Keely.
Keely.
Philly and Keely.
They came over. They were here. They found out she was pregnant. They went back to Ireland. They were coming back, and she had an episode. She started bleeding.
Oh.
So they left. They went back to Ireland, and they're doing okay now. But yeah, appreciate any prayers for Philly and Keely.
Yep. Hey, Captain Hook. Good to see you. All right. Hope everything goes okay for you at the doctor. All right, guys. So, hey, they got their problems in Europe. We got our problems over here. They're not mutually exclusive. We're going through the same thing. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. There's a lot of people working the systems. I just wish that more people voting in these states. I mean, I just don't understand how if you live in some place, a state or a city that does not work with immigration when people break the law, and your courts or your city is allowing these people or setting them free to be repeat offenders. I don't know how you as a citizen can live with yourself and continue to vote this way for more of the same. So I get it if you're a deep blue city. I get it. But I don't know why you live there, because maybe that's why they live there, because it's so blue, because all the conservatives moved away. I mean, look at New York. Rolling blackouts now. They can't keep stuff running. They want to go to all these buses, solar buses, and they were saying that the solar buses, to charge the number of buses that they want to buy is like, and they only run for 8 hours at a time, and then they have to be recharged, would be like 4 million air conditioning window units running at the same time for 8 hours is how much power it takes to actually power these buses. So solar is not really the answer. It helps probably in some ways, some fashion or form, like Tim at Bridge Life. That's what he's doing. But I don't think if it takes 600,000 watts of electricity to charge a single bus, I don't know how that is saving people money. And if you have rolling blackouts, how do you charge them? You just don't black out where the city is powering their buses, kind of like the mayor's office didn't lose power and air conditioning. His private office, which is separate from City Hall, is air conditioning and power. They didn't lose power, but all the other people are losing it. The stores are losing it. Everything's melting. They're having a freaking crazy time out there in New York City. But hey, you chose to live there. You voted for a communist. All right. You voted for a socialism. And guess what? You're getting it. Your taxes are going up. Everything's falling apart and nothing's getting done. But they froze your rent. But the landowners don't have money to make any improvements. So one guy was saying, he's a realtor, has a channel. He said there's something like 2 million apartments out there in New York City that they can't renovate. They won't renovate, and they're just sitting there. So who knows? Anyway, guys, glad you're here. Glad to be back. Had a little hiatus. Didn't do a show on Friday last week. We had a great time, but we'll talk about that on Wednesday. So, guys, tell me what you think in the comments, because I'm kind of looking at. I don't know if people are really enjoying Morning Talks with Mike and Paul.
This is a reminder. Maybe.
Already
For the
did
boat
that.
payment. If you
Make my boat payment, woman.
You know you're done.
Um,
I'll remind you tomorrow at the same time.
I don't know. I mean, if you enjoy this, let me know. I just wanted to do this because there's a lot of people out there. Mondays and Fridays are either moving fast for you or moving slow for you or whatever. I wanted to fill my time and enjoy everybody's company to come in and talk about controversial topics and stuff like that nobody else wants to talk about, or talk about it the way me and Paul are talking about it. Mainly me, because I do all the talking, and I apologize for that. But I have strong views, but it is causing me to do a lot of research and not trust one source for the information. But it's actually, I mean, I'm learning a lot putting these things together. So tell me what you think. Should we continue Morning Talk with Mike and Paul? If we were gone, you probably wouldn't miss us or whatever. But I enjoy it. But it's not getting the response I thought it would. But I respect and I thank our.
Maybe you need Tinkerbell more often.
Our viewer. Yeah, Tinkerbell's here every day. Tamara's here every day. Jennifer's here every day. Paul's here every day. Shade Tree's coming in more and more. And everybody else. Rebecca Touched by Yarn. Hey, there's Norwegian Homestead. I didn't say nothing. There he is. I would like to hear his perspective of the immigration issues that they had up in Norway. Things like that. And I thought this would bring us together and people would come up and actually interact and talk about it, but it hasn't happened. But you guys are commenting in the comment section, and I do appreciate that. So tell me what you think. Should we keep doing this or not? Just leave a comment. Make sure you hit the thumbs up or thumbs down before you leave. It shows interaction with the channel. But guys, I got a video.
I'm only using a camera for this. I've just ordered another one, and you're telling me we're going to stop?
Say what?
You can't stop now because he ordered a new camera.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I just want to know people's opinions. I got a video to do of all the damage outside because we had one hell of a storm hit while we were gone. Guys,
Jennifer says,
I go, look at this stuff. This is crazy. But I'm going to do a video.
Think about it, Mike. You were in another, just think about it. You were actually in another state having a great time and you missed the storm.
Yeah.
You can't have it always, but Jennifer says she has connections. Let me talk to Wendy and see if I can get her to come back again on panel. She listened the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know a lot of people, it's early in the morning and you're just shaking the cobwebs out your head. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming in. Remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need. Always think of that. Guys, we love you. God bless you. Hey, and we'll see you on Friday for Morning Talk with Mike and Paul. Remember, tomorrow night, I have Sarge Talk TV. We're going to talk about heroes. The heroes we're talking about is the living Medal of Honor recipients in the United States. So come over and check us out at Sarge Talk TV. And then Wednesday, hanging at the homestead, Terry and I will be live at 8 o'clock. So please come in there for that. We're going to be talking about Freedom Weekend, what we did, what we didn't do, things that happened around here. And guys, I hope you join us. All right. So until then,
Did you go to the ER and see David?
I did not. I seen David at Freedom Weekend. He was.
Yeah, he
he
ended up
was-
going to ER.
Yeah, he ended up going to the ER, and he wasn't doing well at the Freedom Weekend. So he was had to ride around in Pops's scooter because putting weight on it, like walking and stuff, was killing him. But anyway, guys, say a prayer for David that they figure out, and hopefully he doesn't have to have surgery.
He's
But,
in for an emergency MRI as soon as there's an available spot.
yeah. So anyway, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Stay safe, everyone. Have a great week.
Say bye, Paul.
Bye, Paul.
Goodbye, gorgeous.
Goodbye, everybody.
Have a great week.